Good evening, YouTubers. Reloading Bench back with you yet again tonight. It's a twofer. And I think I said in a previous video, which I'll probably have to edit out because I don't think I've published it, I was going to say, or I have said, you'll never see this again on my channel. So I lied. Some of you may recall, who actually watch some of my stuff, that when I received my tools, where's the package that came from Hornady? Hornady sent a little fancier version of this with their knurling. Hornady sent that, Hornady sent that tool. I suppose I could, let's see, let's dump them out. So Hornady sent this one with the 8x32. So the outside diameter chamfer, whatever. And for my inside diameter, they included this tool, which is a hand tool. Cannot be mounted. There are no threads for this. So this is, a bonus. So I called Hornady and I'm like, yo, where's my stuff? Especially considering the price of this tool. So this came today from Hornady. So I'm wondering, because it feels too big to be this. So I'm thinking maybe there's a lot of extenuous packaging. I don't even know if that's a real word. Might be George Bushing it. Might be making words up now. W. Oh yeah, okay. So it feels big because, oh shit. I fucking sent the wrong one. Holy fuck. That is, holy shit. They sent the, so I looked on their website. Wow. So, one, kudos for Hornady for sending their they sent the large caliber ID deburr, and this is the one that ships or supposedly ships with it is not the large caliber. This is 45 ACP and above. And the reason I know this is because I looked, after I was on the call with the guy, I looked on the website and I'm like, oh my God, that's great for doing, look at how fucking big that is. Holy shit. When it should be the equivalent of, that. Here's the Hornady version with the knurling. Oh, it's a lot nicer. The knurling and the stainless of my Frankfurt Arsenal bit, tool head, whatever. And so it should be, this size-ish. This is the 17 HMR to 45 ACP. This is the Monster large caliber. That's fucking funny. So Hornady, you get an A for effort and a D for execution. So now I'm gonna bet that when I call them tomorrow and let them know that, hey, you sent me the Goliath, I needed the David. Wow, that is funny. Too funny. Good stuff. I know Hornady will make it right because they have to. I paid a lot of money for this, and this is not the tool head that I want. So we'll see how that goes. Wow, disappointing in delivery of the wrong component. That is massive. Monster. I hope you can, I don't want to open it because they may ask me to send it back, but I hope you can see the difference. I mean, it's like 2 to 3 times bigger. It's huge. Huge! It's freaking huge. All right. Yet another call to Hornady. But we will also take the opportunity to turn this into another portion of exploring the tool, because we're going to take the large cleaner and we're going to experiment, because somebody on another old video from a long time ago had a comment about primer pocket cleaning. And this is a primer pocket clean. Well, it just says primer cleaner large. So, you know what? I'm gonna. That's too funny. Put all these back in their baggage. Put the tools that I'm borrowing from my Frankfurt arsenal, because Hornady was a little too quick on the draw. Actually, I'll probably take a picture of that to send them. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to use this for something I never ever use it for, and that is going to be, look how nice I got that in there. That is going to be for answering the question somebody posed to me, because on my stainless steel video, stainless steel cleaning, I talked about, it's messy, it's not something I do, so I dry tumble. And the question was, how do you clean your primer pocket when you dry tumble? And my answer is I don't. I don't shoot match. I don't worry about, the only thing I worry about the primer pocket on 45 ACP is if it's large pistol, because I'm not a fan of small pistol primer on 45 ACP. So my comment was, I just dry tumble and I'm ready to go. And then I decap on the press and I prime on the press. That's just my preference. And everybody's got their own different preferences. But when I stainless steel tumble, since I'm going through all of the hassle of dealing with the wet media, cleaning the magnets, the mess, I will decap first so that the media can clean the pockets, the primer pockets, because I've found that dry tumbling does reasonably well for the exterior and somewhat for the interior, but nothing gets a case as clean and minty new looking as stainless steel wet tumbling, in my opinion. So if I was to wet tumble, I would pop the primers, decap, resize, and then throw them in the bucket for stainless steel tumbling. And I would also ensure I'm using short pins as well as jeweler's mix so that things don't stick in the primer pocket. And the reason I don't tumble after I decap, even tumble dry tumble, is when I did it, I didn't notice enough of a difference. Dry tumbling really doesn't, in my case, didn't, and it was with corn cob media, whereas I now use the RCBS brown reddish stuff. I have no idea what it's called. But when I used to do corn cob, I would find that corn cob would stick in the primer hole, and more often than not, I was trying to have to poke the primer hole to make sure nothing was obstructing or adding to my formula, my recipe. So I don't dry tumble with the primers decapped. I dry tumble with primers intact, just like this. This is a dirty piece of brass, not not cleaned. But for the sake of doing this video, my thought was, well, if I was worried about cleaning the pocket, and I like the convenience, the speed, and the ease of use with dry tumbling, maybe I would dry tumble and then, either with my Frankfurt Arsenal or even this, depending on where this sits permanently, after I've dry tumbled, and maybe as I'm reloading, I might do some primer pocket cleaning. So I'm going to plug this in. I'm going to decap these two, and then we are going to see what the before and after looks like with the Hornady primer pocket cleaner on the Hornady Case Prep Center. As we still are miffed about the large caliber ID de Burr. All right, folks, back in a minute. We back. So I took the opportunity to decap both, and you can see they're grimy. Hopefully that's getting picked up by the camera. They're both grimy. Grimy, grimy. Grimy, grimy, grimy. And I decided to bell one and not the other, so you could see the differences of seating the pew-pew head when one is belled and one is not. So that is how much I bell. And somebody will probably like, oh my God, dude, you bell way too much. Oh my God, you're ruining your brass. The life of your brass is nothing. So that's what I bell. And again, no bell. Ha, no pun intended. No bell and bell. All right, so we're going to take these dirty ass pockets. Again, hopefully I have no idea what's being picked up and what's not. Maybe I'll come back out with the light so it's not so bright. But they're nasty. They're nasty. This is the first time, I think, in my entire life, maybe not. Oh, wow, that's pretty nice. That I've ever, and even that still doesn't get all the gunk. I mean, there's still, you can still see gunk in there. I don't know if you can still see gunk, so we'll leave that one there. Now we'll do this one. I can actually see the gunk on the cleaner. All right, so it's much better. Much, much better. And I can't remember what I, let's see what the, so I'm going to take my towel. I'm going to see what comes off on my towel. Yeah, yuck. Again, these things don't operate at, you know, painful speeds like my drill does. So I guess, you know, if I press hard enough, I can really get in there. But again, I tend to use my, I mean, you can see shine there now. I tend to use my dirty primer pockets as glue for my primer. And glue's probably not the right word. Adhesion assistance or seating assistance, because I shoot my straight-walled brass, actually I shoot all my brass until two things happen. One, so that looks reasonable. I shoot all my brass until either, I forgot how I said I was doing this. I think I said I was going to come up, over, out. Yeah, there we go. I shoot my brass. I guess there's the bit of brass with my imposed face that I will delete. I shoot my brass until two things happen. One, I get a split on the case mouth, or two, the primer will not seat, or will not stay seated, or will fall out. And that's when I toss my brass. So I'm, again, I don't shoot match, I pew-pew shoot, I target shoot, so I'm not worried about head stamps, segregation, weight of each, you know, individual brass cartridge, brass casing, whereas, you know, competitive shooters are, because that's what they do. So they need to be able to repeat consistency, and my level of consistency is about primer, powder charge, and bullets, pew-pew head. So that's where my focus is at. So I thought that was very interesting in terms of somebody looking for, you know, an optimal solution. So if I was going to worry about cleaning the primer pocket, I would, again, since I don't do a lot of stainless / wet tumbling, this would be the path I would take, because I like to have things a little bit dry on the bench, and stainless wet tumbling is just messy as all heck, and not my thing. So that's the beautiful thing about reloading is, you know, to each their own, and everybody can do their thing and have a good time with it. And I will mention, by the way, that with my trimming on this, This cutter is, it screws in counterclockwise, or excuse me, it screws in clockwise. So it turns counterclockwise, and as you're applying pressure, it really sets in there. I can't get that out now. I don't care what I do. And part of the problem is, let me make sure that's turned off. Okay. Part of the problem is because the release/removal of this cutter is counterclockwise, it spins in that direction, counterclockwise. So I don't know, and that's not a worry right now because it's a new cutter head, but at some point that cutter head's going to need to be replaced. And, just shy of taking a pair of pliers and locking the base in while trying to remove this cutter head, when I'm on the phone with Hornady tomorrow, I will ask them, as they're going to send out the replacement for the not large caliber inside diameter deburr, how they recommend removing that cutter head. So little interesting things you learn along the ways, but or along the way. But I'm liking the tool. It's serving a good purpose, and no complaints. So that is it for tonight's videos. Take care, folks. Another good evening, YouTubers. Thought I would knock this video out and add it to the end of the videos regarding the Hornady Case Prep Center. So as you can see, we now have our cover for it, and we also have all of the missing parts, compliments of Hornady. All right, so there were my Frankfurt Arsenal components that I was borrowing. And it was interesting because when I talked to Hornady, called them the second time, again, this was all a result of this particular tool. So when I called them the first time and said, hey, I never got my inside chamfer, the mate of this, actually let me lower the camera so you can see what I'm doing. My mate of this, the Hornady mate of this, they sent this, which I did not open previously. And my comment to Hornady when I got it was, hey, wrong thing, wrong, okay, we'll send you out this. And this is what showed up. And, when my first reaction was, wow, that's a monstrosity. And when I talked to them again, here is the intended part, the mate of this. You ever notice shit does not want to come out of a bag when you're trying to do it? So me guess is that because this was a direct send, it's not the black oxide version. I'm guessing that had they included the correct parts, this finish would look just like this. So obviously this is a little nicer, again, in my opinion, but whatever. These are the appropriate sizes, and it looks like different materials, but whatever. These are the appropriate sizes. And then we had the Goliath. So when I looked online, this is like a $20 part, again, depending on where you're buying it, 19 to 20 something. And this is like a $30 plus $35, $32 part. Again, just because of the unique size. So when you look at the two components, there they are. And the dude at Hornady was like, this is a better tool. And I said, well, I didn't open it because, the description says 45 caliber and larger for inside diameter. And everything that I'm doing is going to be rifle-based brass, or smaller caliber brass. And he's like, yeah, that should fit no problem. And technically it does. So he said this is a better tool. This fits about, that much into the case mouth. This fits very similar. So this is a keeper. So we are all set. We are done. We have all the appropriate tools. We got cover. This is going to sit on the bench permanently in a corner right about there. And I can officially say, and I know you've heard this before, that is the last video about the Case Prep Center that I intend to make. That doesn't mean it will be the last one that's made. So take care. Bye all.